by the historical presence of the mafia. Yet, tonight, we aim to move beyond the stereotypes and cinematic mythology often associated with this phenomenon, to reflect instead on the real dynamics of organized crime, its social implications, and its cultural representations both in Italy and in Asia. To do so, we're fortunate to have with us three distinguished speakers who will guide us through these complex subjects from complementary perspectives.
Embodied the importance of fearless, honest individuals who are not afraid to work and to write about subjects where the risk of violence and reprisals is very much present. His example should be an example to all who seek to shine the light of truth into the dark corners of organized crime and corruption. Thank you.
公司 and bar through brotherhood. The word secret society was actually coined by the British colonial government because they find that this bar or 会友公司 were quite secretive in the sense, right? Before ancestral Templars took their oaths, pricked their fingers, and drank the blood mixed with chicken blood, rice wine, and spices. Such rituals bond them as brothers under heaven and earth, reinforced solidarity among men who had left their families behind. Brotherhood, loyalty, and vengeance were not abstract ideas. Riots between the Juhin, who had 20,000 members, and Guan Lihui, only 1,000 members. The Guan Lihui launched an attack during the funeral procession of the deceased Juhin's leader. This was the first reported serious incident of gang conflict in Singapore's history, triggered by a shortage of plantation land and unclear land boundaries. In 1851, anti-Catholic riots sparked by disputes with the Catholic Chinese plantations. Because the Catholic Teochew plantation owners did not pay protection fees, Juhin attacked more than 20 plantations while the church presidency was on leave. The Teochew community leader, Xia Yu-Chin, helped resolve the dispute. In 1854, the 5 Cathy rice riots between Hokkien and Teochew left over 500 dead. The anti-Qing Dagger Society's Teochew members fled from China to Singapore for refuge. When the Hokkien rice merchant deliberately raised the price, the two sides evolved from a verbal dispute to a 10-day armed fight between Jihad and Juhin. The colonial government formed a mediation group comprising British merchant William Reed, the Hokkien community leader Tan Yim Sing, the Teochew community leader Xia Yu-Chin, and the Jihad secret society leader Chua Mo Chun to sit down at a round table, which finally resolved the crisis. In Formosa, Taiwan, he spoke Mandarin and several dialects, earned the respect of local leaders. Pickering, in his writings, described the secret societies as largely friendly societies, dangerous mainly because of some of the lawless characters with them, not because of any political conspiracy. He believed the solution lay not in punishment, but in understanding. Under his leadership, the Protectorate registered societies, mediated disputes, and protected workers and women from abuse. Yet, his reforms provoked hostility. Operated through oaths and secrecy, Hui Guan relied on kinship, dialect, and place of origin. They were legitimate representatives of the Chinese community. For example, the Hokkien Hui Guan, Teochew Body Hui Guan, Cantonese Ling Hui Guan, Hakka Wei Chiu Hui Guan, Hainanese Hainan Hui Guan, among others. In many cases, these associations executed the very functions that secret societies once performed, but within the law. They helped the poor, care for the dead, and preserve Chinese culture's identity in a colonial setting. Today, people killed, right? And the map actually shows the secret society territory in the 1970s, divided the entire Singapore into various pieces, various jigsaw puzzles. So during, after World War II, a massive ritual actually gathered. The ritual gathering was held in Camilleri Forest in 1948, signaling a possible revival. It had taken the colonial authority by surprise. The background of this mass gathering was to form a united front between the Malaysia Penang and Singapore secret societies. By the 1950s and 1960s, more than 300 unlawful secret societies were established in Singapore. Youth engagement, jobs, resettlement, education. By the 1970s, large-scale organized secret societies had largely disappeared. Yet, traces of their past remain in some streets. For example, China Street, it was Jijin Street. Carpenter Street, it was Jihad Street. Hong Lim Complex, it was Chong Pakai, Upper Namping Street. And Upper Cross Street, it was called Hoi San Gai because of the Hoi San secret society. And there's also in a quiet temple, in the quiet hall of this temple, Hu Zhao Chan Shi at somewhere near Jiang Yunos, we can still see old society templars resting there. So of course, there were many collective memories from elder residents like us. Secret societies were products of migration and necessity. Their secrecy reflected exclusion from the colonial system, not inherently criminality. Their rituals and hierarchies were attempts to create order in a world that offered none. Seen in this light, Singapore's early Chinese secret societies were more about belonging. They remind us that the city's foundations were not just official ruling, but also by informal networks of trust and obligation forged among the powerless. To find order, dignity, and identity in a world of displacement. So these are some of the key references. With that, I conclude. Thank you.